to tie in a spot I've visited, to tie it into a baseball, for those that have ever done it, and it was such a unique experience. But the trip that we went to on Japan and going to the Tokyo Dome and watching, you know, um, games at the Tokyo Dome and watching just the Japanese league play and how the fans interact, and the way that they approach the game of baseball is very different from what we would do in North America. But what a unique experience, right? Like I think about, when I look at it, it was, there's a song for every player that comes up to bat, and the fans are singing it. They know all the words. They're singing it for each one of the players. Like I remember, when the game was over, everybody stayed to like clean up the stadium, right? The fans actually cleaned up their area. Everybody cleaned up the stadium. So it was spotless. You didn't leave unless you like cleaned up the stadium. And I thought that was, very unique. And just, the vendors in the stands were not selling multiple things. It was, if whoever was selling Pepsi product was dressed up in a Pepsi uniform, and yeah, like it was just a different experience, right? And it was, like I had a great appreciation for it. It was a different experience. That it was from a baseball, pure side. Like it was I can't speak enough about it. It was an awesome experience, right? Just very different from what we do here. But their love and passion for the game of baseball is the same as ours. But it was, it's opportunities like that. I think, the other thing we get to talk about is, I think about some of our trips to the Dominican and maybe going into some villages. They're not as well off as others, and watching kids play, without a glove or a glove made out of something, and a beat up baseball, and the field conditions were rough, and nobody has cleats, nobody, some might not have shoes, but it was still just like the same level of love, and for the sport, right? And that's the piece for me. It's like, okay, we've got, you're visiting as part of a bit of a trip, and there's, we've got an interpreter with us because we didn't speak Spanish, or I don't speak Spanish. But we didn't need it, right? You had, baseball was kind of like that common language, and you could play catch with the kids and not have to really understand each other, right? Like, and so that element, I think, was very unique, right? Like it was, taking a kid out of Miramichi, where I grew up, and we learned a lot and saw the things we saw, but realized like the world's a pretty big spot, and things are pretty different as you get out there. And so I think that part of what baseball has given to me is probably the piece that I'm most appreciative for.